Hello and welcome to Bonnie teaching herself how to improvise the Western classical way, video number 4. Well, I'm still on chapter 1 of the book that I started last week, but that's okay, I'm still progressing through this chapter. So in my last video I talked about preludes, and just to recap, a prelude is a few bars of music, chords and melody that usually precede the actual composition. What I've been learning today is a few of the specific chords that were really common to end a prelude. So, for people who might not have a musical background, this might not make any sense to you, which is fine, but for those who do have a musical background, some specific chords they would use to end the prelude is what we call a 1/5 to a 5/7 and then back to a 1. So if I was in the key of C major, the 1/5 would be a C chord over a G bass, to the 5/7, which is a G7, to the 1, which is C. And probably to those who don't have a musical background, you'll also hear that does sound classical and common to classical music. Alright, so if I was thinking I'm going to use those chords to end my prelude, I want to still do some melodic, interesting material over the top of that. What I would typically do is think, okay, I'm playing a C major chord in my right hand, I'm just going to play with those notes on the piano, then I've got a G7 chord, I'm going to play with those notes and end on the C chord. So my improvisation would typically sound like... That's the G7 chord. Now I think that sounds valid, nothing sounds out of place, sounds pretty classical. But as I've been reading more into this first chapter, there's an embellishment technique called an appoggiatura, which I can use to really enhance that melody and sounds a bit more classical actually. So what an appoggiatura is, it's like a grace note. So if I take a C major chord, the notes are C, E and G, I'm going to precede each of those chord notes with the note a semitone lower. Alright, so if I'm going to take this note C, I would precede it with a B. Da, da. If I want to play the G, I'm going to precede it with an F sharp. Da, da. If I'm going to play the E, I'm going to precede it with a D sharp. Da, da. And so on and so forth. B, C, F sharp, G, D sharp, E, C. It's great, I make myself laugh. Okay, so if I was to improvise now using those appoggiatura techniques, this is what my improvisation would sound like. So I think I sound more classical already. So that's what I learned today. Thanks for tuning in.